It works.
Hello, my name is Francisco Sivan Pina, and today I am going to be talking about the World Cup. I'm going to be talking about how it started as a small tournament to how we see it as one of the biggest sporting events in the world. What if I tell you there's an event that happens every 4 years that attracts billions of people to tune in and watch? This sounds crazy, but it's true. Today I'm going to be talking about the World Cup, how it attracts billions to watch, and also millions across the world to travel to watch the games in person. From 1930 to today. The World Cup actually started in 1930 as a very small tournament to compare to now being one of the biggest tournaments. Featuring only 13 teams in the World Cup. Today I am going to be talking about historical moments of the World Cup, but also talking about why the World Cup is considered important. So now that we talked about that, we're going to talk about how the World Cup started. Uruguay hosted the first World Cup in 1930, as we can see. Not only did they host the first World Cup, they actually managed to make it to the finals against Argentina and managed to beat them in a 4-2 victory, crowning Uruguay as the world champions. Now that we talked about how it all started, let's talk about some historical moments in the World Cup. From 1950, it drew one of the largest crowds we have ever seen in a World Cup match. Pele became one of the youngest to score in the final. This is very impressive because he was still a teenager when he did this. Not only did he score in the final, but he also led his nation to the World Cup finals and win their first trophy. Not only this, but in 1986, Diego Maradona scored an infamous goal called the Hand of God. From 1930 to now, the evolution of the sport has changed so much, introducing yellows and red cards, also including technology as goal line technology, or VAR, or as some people know it as virtual assistant referee, to help the referee make better decisions in games. Now that we talked about some historical moments, let's talk about why the World Cup is so important. So first of all, I want to say the World Cup is important for fans. People travel all over the world to watch it and tune in. Not only this, but the World Cup also takes years to prepare for. It takes years. As we can see, the nation teams compete with each other to earn only a limited spot at the World Cup, which makes it even more crazier and more competitive. Not only this, but it takes years just for qualification matches to be played. World Cup summary. So we talked about how the World Cup started in 1930 to historical moments that happened throughout the years to why it is so important for fans and players and why it brings people from all over the world together every 4 years. One chance at glory. Yes, the World Cup happens every 4 years, but this is considered one of the biggest achievements in soccer. Not only this, but soccer players dream to represent their nations. It's so special for soccer players, especially because they only get a limited chances to actually be able to compete and win the World Cup for their nation. Now, we have talked about how the World Cup started in 1930 to talking about historical moments to why it is still important to us till today. Thank you. Is there any questions?
Yes, I have a question. How old was Pele whenever he scored in the finals?
Yes, Pele was actually 17 whenever he scored in the finals, which again makes him the youngest player to ever do it.
How many teams are in the World Cup right now?
So from the beginning of the World Cup, there was only 13 teams that participated. The current World Cup, as we speak right now, we have the most participant in the World Cup, actually having 48 teams participating in today's World Cup as we speak.
I have a question. What was your favorite fact while researching?
So I would have to say my favorite would be the historical slide, just because I actually learned some new things about the sport itself. I learned that Uruguay hosted the first World Cup. Not only that, but they actually managed to win it as well, which makes it even more impressive in my opinion. Is there any more questions?
No.
Thank you.